Hey everyone, it's Brandy from Brandy Burrow Astrology, back with Ellie Adams from Saturn Season Astrology and YouTube channel Let's F with Astrology. Welcome back, Ellie.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for wanting to do this.
Yes, thank you. Love forensic astrology. I finally found my forensic astrology soulmate and to do these. It's so fun. This is part 2. So Malaysian Airlines Flight 370. If you haven't watched part 1, you probably want to watch that first, just to be completely honest, so that because we're continuing the conversation. So go to Ellie's channel, Let's F with Astrology, catch part 1, and then come over here and catch part 2. This is kind of the conclusion, the mapping. For those who may have watched part 1 and need a little recap, Malaysian Airlines Flight 370, it basically disappears I lost my chart, March 8th, 2014. Okay. And we were kind of following the charts of the disappearance, maybe some of the theories. We're still discussing some other theories too that are popping up. And we are going to pick up where we left off. And this is the next chart we have is the media. Make an announcement. So shall we just go ahead and pull that chart?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for following on my inarticulate recap.
It was good. It was all good.
I tried to make it quick, let's just. All right. So this is when a media statement is made. It's at 7:24 a.m. From what I understand, this is about an hour after the flight was expected to arrive in Beijing, which was the destination.
Yeah.
Of course, it never arrived. So this is when the media statement's made. It's interesting because this is a Pisces ascendant chart. We have the same traditional ruler.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I noticed that too with it. I was like, how interesting.
Yeah, because the last charts were a Sagittarius rising chart. Now we got the Pisces. So still dealing with Jupiter here in it's exalted. It's in that very expansive sign of Cancer. It's in the water sign. In the previous chart, it's sitting in the 8th house. In this chart, we now have it in the 4th house of endings.
Yes. Yeah.
What do you see on this chart, Ellie? What just stands out to you on this one?
Well, I noticed that moon's in the 3rd now. That moon in Gemini is now in the 3rd house, which kind of makes sense. 3rd house can deal with communication, right? So it kind of makes sense that this is when the actual statement was made. It seems fitting.
Yeah, when the media comes out. Yeah, you got a very media type house.
Yes. That was one of the that was one of the first things that also stood out a whole bunch to me. You also have now, you've got also the same ruler of the descendant, right? Other chart had Gemini with Mercury ruling it. This one we've got Virgo, Mercury's still ruling. Mercury's on the 12th in this chart.
And a house of
yes. Yeah.
And mystery.
Yeah, things that are and this is certainly a fucking mystery, a tragic fucking mystery.
Yeah. We got that sitting in the 12th house of, you got 12th house where things are hidden. You have 8th house where things are hidden. The 12th house, though, is things that are genuinely hidden, whereas 8th house, we hide them on purpose, more like secrets or keep things kind of in. 12th house is things that are hidden from us.
Yes.
And so it's an interesting placement.
It is. It's also, you brought up in the other one, 7th house, open enemies. 12th house, hidden enemies. It is kind of an interesting thing to see.
It is. And we were kind of talking about this in between recording, not a big conspiracy person, but this is one that some of the theories, I don't know, you just can't help but to maybe think about it, or especially looking at the astrology, there is some weird things here and things that aren't visible. So I can understand why these theories are there.
I can too. And this kind of makes me, one of the theories that one of the things that we mentioned in the part 1 was that perhaps something was kind of known that was wrong with the with the plane, but maybe wasn't thought of to be anything major at the time. So it was kind of ignored or just not fucked with. It almost makes me wonder if you wanted to go with that at this point, if, I don't know, there could be more like, let's not make this known.
Some,
you know what I mean? Yeah, kind of like, we're really gonna not mention that this particular thing wasn't maybe dealt with like it should have been.
And I'll say we've seen this before. When something goes wrong on a plane, like, you know, there's distractions, or there's like pointing the finger at something else, because, you know, there are companies that are held liable. Like, you know, the whole, like when Sully had to land the plane in the Hudson River.
Yeah.
Insurance didn't want to pay out those claims. So they're trying to say he did something wrong, you know? So we do see those things happen sometimes. It's not unheard of.
Yeah. 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 It's definitely not.
Yeah. Now we did in the part 1, we were looking at Mars in the last chart, and you know, we're going to pull up a map in a minute, and we're going to see some Mars activity there. But Mars is now in this 8th house of death in this chart.
Yes, it is.
And we got this Mars that's in a detriment in Libra. In forensic or horary charts, it's a terrible sign for Mars to be in, not natally. So remember, natal astrology, whole different thing. But here we got a Mars that's like not well in control.
And it's also retrograde as well, which kind of, yeah. And yeah, in these charts,
these are weird charts. These are weird. You know, I first, I told Ellie, I always look at these charts and I kind of come to my own conclusions. And then when we're discussing back and forth while we're recording and bouncing things off each other, I tend to like change my opinion sometimes. This is one of these cases where I'm kind of opening up to other theories. I didn't think I would. And I'm kind of like, maybe, you know, these charts are weird.
They are. Yeah.
What do you make of Pluto now in the 10th house?
You know, this could, you know, the 10th house is very public. Pluto is power, among other things. It could point to like the power this case had over the public. I could see it manifesting that way, because this case, you know, even still, right, it still feels, and I mean, even like, you could even tie in the conspiracy thing a little bit with Pluto. I think when I think of like conspiracy stuff, Pluto and Uranus are kind of the first 2 planets that come to mind when I think of that. I don't know.
We got them making a square. Interesting.
Yes.
I mean, it's a generational planets here, but we have that going on.
Yeah. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about the power thing. If, and I'm saying if, I'm not saying I necessarily buy in. I'm who knows? We don't know what happened here. We know the astrology has a lot of things popping up in it, but if there is cover up, it would make sense that Pluto would be in the 10th house for me.
Yeah. The question is it nefarious cover up, or is it just because somebody didn't dot their I's and cross their T's like they you know what I mean? That's kind of,
it could be either, you know, it's in a sign of, it's in like a government sign.
It is.
You know, things can be covered up for both reasons, you know, or either.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I see where you're going with that.
It's a weird one. Do we want to look at mapping yet? Or is there anything else? Do you want to pull out anything else in this chart?
Well, there are some other theories,
Okay.
just to kind of play with them anyway, just to bring them up. And there are probably more theories than what we're mentioning here, right? I know they're like a shitload. One of them ties to the pilot specifically, having had something to do with this. After this happened, and I could be wrong about this, or wrong exactly with how I phrase it, but there was something found in his house, a flight simulator that he was practicing landing on a very short airstrip, which is kind of I don't know. There are theories that the pilot maybe took it off course on purpose. I don't know that I see that myself in these charts, not on purpose anyway. Like,
Yeah.
if he took it off course, it feels more like he was forced to take it off course, and less like it was like him just wanting to go on a fucking joy plane ride, taking it, you know what I mean? Or there's also a theory that he was suicidal. Again, these are just theories.
The only thing about these charts when in regards to that theory, the descendants keep popping up in double-bodied signs.
Yes.
Got Virgo here, but like, you know, we had Gemini in the last one, which is either one of two things. If there's people involved, usually would be multiple people. If it's not people, it's what causes this. Maybe, you know, we saw maybe information glitches or failures of some sort.
Well, the information thing is also interesting as well. The information, you know, possibly being a catalyst for this, say. Because there's also another theory. There were 20 people. Hold on, I have this written down. I want to make sure I don't fuck this up.
This one, this theory, like when you were telling me, I was kind of like, I hadn't heard this one, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, there were 20 passengers, 12 from Malaysia and 8 from China. They were employees of Freescale Semiconductor. Interestingly enough, just kind of a side note, they were headquartered here in Austin, Texas, where Brandy and I are. They merged into NXP Semiconductors as of 2015. But these 20 passengers were worked for Freescale Semiconductor. Now, I don't know exactly what these people did, what their job was. Mm-hmm. Right? I've seen different theories online as to what their job was. I have seen that they were just regular employees that wouldn't have known shit. I have also seen that these were employees that worked on things like invisibility shit. I don't know. Again, I'm not going to sit there and say, you know, whatever. What is known is that they worked for this company. And this company does have, or did, because they're not around anymore, did, I guess, do stuff with the Department of Defense in the US. Now, there's also another theory that kind of ties in with this one, that this plane was essentially taken down because of these 20 passengers, or maybe just some of them, and that the plane did not crash into the water, but was actually taken to Diego Garcia. I believe that's the name of the base. Again, not saying that any of it is accurate. I do think the ruler of the descendant Mercury and Aquarius, that feels very, I don't know, semiconductory.
For sure. I think that's would fall under Aquarius and Mercury for sure.
You know, but
especially
again, that
or inventions or
electricity.
Yeah.
So you know, and you make that you kind of made the comment in the part one when you were trying to, I know you were trying to be gentle about how you said it.
I try not to be too insensitive here. You know, we are talking about people. I caught myself thinking out loud on part one because something wasn't making sense. You know,
about us essentially the plane, you know, hitting water, you would think it would break apart.
mm-hmm.
And there would be more debris found than have been.
Right. Because we found, this is when we were discussing fixed stars, and there's fixed stars popping up about violence. And, you know, anytime a plane hits water, it's violent.
Yeah, it is. Which I guess, you know, going on this theory that the plane was taken off course on purpose and landed somewhere else, which could be violent in another kind of way. I don't know. It is just tossing that out here, that it's out there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
I do think here there are things that probably are known about this that just are not being said.
100%, because this is an active investigation, I'm sure, still, because there's no closure, there hasn't been things found. So anytime anything's an investigation phase, automatically things are quiet anyway.
Yeah.
But maybe even more, maybe not just because it's an investigation, but yeah, you know, you got this 12th house stuff popping up, and yes, things are hidden for sure.
Yeah. And it could be like you mentioned, it could be a little bit of both. Of, you know. Yeah.
Now this chart, similar to the others, we have the luminaries towards the bottom half. Now the sun is starting to shine. It's right there on the ascendant, so there might be a little bit of light. You know, we have some debris has been found. But for the part, this is still the luminaries towards the bottom of the chart. Another indication we're still not seeing a good testimony that this will be found, or that truth will come out, or that we'll know what happened. Yeah.
I think this will kind of, for a long time anyway, be there won't really be much resolution.
You know, and that could be for many reasons. I mean, we're dealing with oceans.
Yeah.
Are freaking huge, you know.
Absolutely.
Or if we want to look at conspiracies, things being hidden, I don't know. Either way, this is an indication that things are going to stay mysterious anyway. For a while.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah. Anything we want to look at, or do we want to go to maps?
Go to the maps.
I say maps. I have one map.
Go to the map.
Let me just clarify. Let me see what we got here. First, I do want to share, and I found this photo on Wikipedia. So let's look at this, just because this gives a good indication of where some searches have been made. Okay, so this is Australia right here. You know, Malaysia, Beijing is you're not seeing it on this map. It's more northeastern. This is where, and you go to Wikipedia and read this, I guess military radar had picked them up on the radar, showing that this plane was in the air for at least a few hours. And the last place it had been seen was over the Indian Ocean. And so this is the area that's been searched. The highest probability is this red, yellow, and green line here. So this is where authorities think it is, where multiple searches have been. So I just wanted to give that as a background information. Okay. Now to scribble maps that I will try to talk you guys through. I'm laughing because, like, Scribble Maps is wonderful and awful at the same time. I'm sorry if anyone from Scribble Maps.
No, they need to know that shit. that it's a great tool, but it's fucking frustrating. That's what they need to know.
It's the bane of my existence. You know, it's like, it's just hard to use. You fuck it up trying to do something, you lose your work, you got to start over. It's yeah,
not user friendly.
It's not user friendly. I don't know if Scribble Maps is listening and you want to send me a video on how to use it. Talk to me like I'm 5. Tell me how, explain to a 5-year-old how to use it. That's what I need apparently. So this bottom marker is the Malaysian airport.
Okay.
This top one is Beijing. Now, if we were to make a line from here to here through the airports, it falls in the Aries region. It's around 20 degrees Aries. I really could not find anything in the charts to line these up, which makes me think I don't know. I hate saying this. I don't know if it's fate. I don't know. It's just not going to land there.
Okay. Yeah.
But I wanted to point out on the map where this was the destination. Now, this line right here is where that search is, where they've been searching. This is where Mars is at on the charts. It's at like the 20-something degree Libra.
Yeah, was it 27?
It's actually on this line is Mars. Yeah, and this is the area. So they're searching along Mars, which not necessarily out of the question if we're looking at an accident. That's very Mars. A crash is Mars.
Yeah.
You know, I can see on the map or on the charts why this is an area of interest. However,
yeah,
I'm thinking they need to go up north. This is my line right here. This is the ascendant.
Okay.
Not every time, but a lot of times when something goes missing, if you're looking for a missing person, ascendant line is a fantastic place to trail. And the ascendant line goes here. It's just a little bit more northwest. I don't know. Okay, guys, I'm not a scientist. You know, I'm not smart. Like, I don't know how the currents work in this area. So I'm not going to pretend to know what I know. But I do wonder, did currents push things this way? If it in fact is still in the ocean, which I don't know. I'm still kind of leaning that it is because we got all those water signs in the chart.
Yeah. I mean, the charts are very reflective of the plane going into water. It's just, you would think a plane going into water would come apart and there would be more debris found than there has been, you know.
I would think. I mean, oceans are huge. This is huge.
This is true. They are. I mean, they're big ass fucking, yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah. I think it's there in the ocean personally, but and you know, it's hard to pinpoint a radius. You know, we had an 8 degrees, I think 8 degrees Sagittarius chart. That would be an 8-mile radius. We know it went further than that. So I would look more north though, northwest, according to the astrology.
I wonder, and I know they've checked that area, that Mars line, right? They checked it a few times. With that Mars retrograde though, it makes me think they might have to do it a few times, like more than a few times even to, yeah.
Yes. And we want to get probably during a Mars retrograde.
Yeah, that seems real likely.
Yeah. So when's the next one? I'm shitty astrologer. I'd have like year and a half.
No. Wait, no.
How long has it been since the last one? I swear it's been like, I have no concept of time right now. I swear we were only like, no, it was 2021, wasn't it? When it was in Aries. No, we just hit the next one.
No,
though.
I was gonna say we just had it because that little motherfucker was on like Chiron for like weeks, just sitting there, fucking station, you know, waiting to do its bullshit.
That's right. It was last November and it was in Gemini. I remember now, December. Yes, I remember. It was like actually a time, December of 2022, when I just got flooded with astrology consults because everyone's like, what the fuck is happening? And I'm like, Mars retrograde. So I don't know. Like, I don't, you know, and I think the last time the area was searched was by a like private company. You know, these are probably private
Mhm.
I don't know what to say. Okay, December of 2024 is the next time it's retrograde. But yeah, I would think that's probably a time that would yield better results.
Yeah.
It'll be in Leo next time.
Oh. Huh.
In the sign of the sun, that would bring stability.
With that sun in that chart, the media chart being right on the
right on the ascendant.
That's interesting.
So if any of these smart scientists are watching our video, which chances might be low, or if you're watching and you know one.
Yeah.
Next Mars retrograde, and I don't know, that makes a wedge. I would say look right in that wedge. That's a huge area, understand, but
yeah, yeah, and being the ocean, yeah, but yeah, that wedge, I agree with that.
Yeah. Now this lineup here is really not anything. I was trying to see, like, this was a fourth house, kind of like a Pisces type line that I was seeing. I'm like, okay, endings, where does this take us? Takes us to land. So I just have it marked. I don't think that's, none of that makes sense. So I would look again, good point, on the Mars line when it retrogrades.
Yeah, I think that's probably that might be a good time.
Now, these charts all have luminaries at the bottom, so I don't even know if there will be a search party again. I don't know.
There might not be, and they might not ever, or not anytime soon, find much. That's also possible.
Yeah. But definitely interesting. One of the topics that, conspiracy theories are interesting on this one, because all you have is speculation at this point. The astrology does not rule out some of the theories. I'll say that.
No, it really doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I could see some of them being the case, and some of them don't feel as possible. Some of them though seem, I can see why they're, but, and I don't think those theories are going away anytime soon.
They don't, not when you don't have anything pointing towards evidence or truth. And so, yeah, they'll hang around. Probably even more will pop up. So
probably. There
you have it. Well, Ellie, I appreciate you doing this again with me. Let me do part 2, trusting me with scribble maps.
Oh, I don't know what the hell I'm doing with that shit either. Like, I sit out here when I played with it, and I'll be screaming, "Fuck you!"
Yeah, and this time going into an ocean, I'm like, we're in water.
Yeah.
Look on this line. Yeah, but no, thank you for coming back. Like I said, I hope you guys caught part 1. If you're watching it backwards, go catch part 1. Catch the beginning of the story. Ellie, tell everyone where they can find you.
Oh, you can find me at on YouTube at Let's Up with Astrology, on Instagram. I almost forgot where you can find me for a second. On Instagram at Saturn Season Astrology, and my website saturnseason.com. And Brandy, where can you be found?
I can be found brandyburrowastrology.com, and the same on YouTube and Instagram, Brandy Burrow Astrology. I know that's the hardest question. Like, where can I be found? I have to think about it too. I'm like, I
draw a blank and I'm like, where can you find me? I don't know.
Like when someone asks your phone number and
you're like, what? I have no idea.
All right, guys, thanks so much. Join us next time. I'm sure we'll have another interesting forensic astrology episode coming soon.
Yes.
All right, thanks for sticking it out and watching. Have a good one.